Earlier today, A.J. Dillon had a post-practice press conference, and he was asked a question by Cody Krupp of Fox News 11. And Krupp brought up the fact that A.J. Dillon didn't have a ton of opportunity. And then he brought up how people on Twitter, might be saying, why didn't he get a yard? And he asked him, what did you see when you watched it back? And here's what A.J. Dillon responded to that question. I graded a 98%. If you know football, you watch the tape, and you don't look at the stats, and you actually put yourself in the game, somebody else go out there and do more than what I did. That's just a situation, and that's football. Sometimes you have a drive like that where you know a block doesn't happen here, a block doesn't happen there. I don't know what Twitter said because I don't go on Twitter unless I'm posting something, but I can imagine somebody, there's nowhere you're going to go there in those certain situations. But in all honesty, man, if you don't live inside my house, your opinion to me is so secondary that I couldn't be bothered with it. But to anybody on Twitter or whatever, you can't do what we're doing. Just enjoy, just watch, and I promise you, everybody in this building is working their bleep off to do the best they can. And I agree with A.J. Dillon when it comes to that game on Saturday. There was no room for A.J. Dillon to run. It would have been tough for any very good running back to pick yards up in those situations because the offensive line, they missed their blocks. There were guys in the backfield right away. And so I don't think that you can just look at that one A.J. Dillon game and use that to say that, you don't think A.J.'s a great back because there was not a lot of opportunity there. But when you do look at this running back battle for the second and third running back spot, I think you really do have to take a good hard look at Emanuel Wilson. Just because of what he showed in that preseason game, he played really, really well, had a few really big runs, has insane vision, is really, really good with the ball in his hands, making his cutbacks and just getting those extra yards. And so for me, I've said the past couple of days that I do think that Emanuel Wilson is a better running back, and it's not because I'm necessarily down on A.J. Dillon. It's more so that I just think that Emanuel Wilson is just really good, has a really good skill set when it comes to being a running back. And so right now, if I had to, rate the Packers running backs right now, I'd probably put Josh Jacobs number one, and then we haven't really seen a lot of Marshawn Lloyd, so it's tough to really judge at this point. I would guess he'll end up being a better back because he's a third rounder, is really explosive. But I'd probably put Emanuel Wilson and then A.J. Dillon when it comes to running the ball. And I do think, we need to see some more of A.J. Dillon. Hopefully next preseason game we get some more looks at what he can really do. And I'm curious to see what the Packers think here because it was brought up by Adam Stenavich, Packers offensive coordinator, in one of his press conferences that when you're looking at the third running back spot, lots of times it comes down to, pass blocking as well as your special teams ability. And I think it's possible that A.J. Dillon could be better than Emanuel Wilson in those categories. So even if, let's say, Emanuel Wilson is a better runner, it may factor in more, how they play on special teams and when it comes to pass blocking. And so when you look at this running back room, Marshawn Lloyd, with him being a third-round pick, there's no doubt he's going to make this roster. The Packers are not going to release Marshawn Lloyd. He has been dealing with injuries, and so maybe they would put him on the IR if it was that serious. Who knows how serious his injuries are. So if, let's say, Marshawn Lloyd is a second running back, it does come down to Emanuel Wilson and A.J. Dillon. And as I said, I think when it comes to being a running back, just from the small sample size I've seen from Emanuel Wilson last year to this year, I think he's a better runner of the football. Now, maybe if we see A.J. Dillon the next preseason game, the next two, we get to see some more of him. Maybe that'll change my mind because he has lost some weight, seems to be in better, just in better shape overall. Maybe he's more explosive when given the opportunity. I haven't quite seen it yet because, as we said, he didn't really have that opportunity in that game on Saturday because there was really no one blocking for him really well at all. So it's hard to know about A.J. Dillon at this point, but from what I've seen so far, as I said, I do think Emanuel Wilson is a better runner. So we'll keep an eye on this running back battle. But if you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe below, and I'll see you guys next time.